Today we're going to look in Study Island and how we can change student settings and all the options we have available. So to access Study Island, we will click on our Clever page. Once we log in, we're going to click on the Teacher page. Now that we're on the Teacher page, we will go to the Class Link section and click on Student Settings. Once we arrive at the Student Settings page, you will see that you have access to adjust the passing goal, restrict access to grade level standards only, modify practice sessions for students, and adjust the read aloud settings for each student in your class. Remember that in Study Island that the standard settings are 10 questions and the mastery level is 70%. If you would like to adjust this, you will come and select the program in which you teach. So if I teach 3rd grade, I will select 3rd grade mastery. Then I will select my class. Once I go in, if I would like to make changes, I will select the subjects I want to change. And then I would also choose the number of questions I would like to adjust and the passing percentage. So if I'm not going to make a change, I would leave it at no change. If I want to change it to the default setting of 10 questions and 70%, I will select the middle. And if I would like to adjust the counts, then I will click the last bubble and adjust the numbers. So if I would like the number of questions to be 20 questions and the passing percentage to be 80%, then I will choose 20 questions and 80%. And then I will choose the student I would like this to apply to. Or if I would like it to apply to all students, I will select the Check All button and then press Submit. Once I do that, you will see all of the changes have been made in this page. The next tab is to restrict access. To restrict access for students, you would select your class, and then you would select the student in which you would like to restrict access. So if I have a 1st grader and I only want them to have access to 1st grade content, then I would go and select 1st grade. If that student is really working on a kindergarten level and I really want to restrict them to kindergarten access, then I would choose kindergarten. For now, I would like that student to only have access to 1st grade content. I will get a message and I will press OK. Notice that this student now only is restricted to 1st grade content. Now, the same is true if I would like to remove a restriction. This student right here is restricted to only 10th grade content. I can check that student, and then I can remove their grade level restriction and press Submit. When I do this, they will no longer have a restriction. Another feature in student settings is that I can modify practice sessions. When I modify a practice session, I can reduce the number of answer choices available to my students. So I would select my class, and then I will look at my class and determine if I have a student who needs to have the answer choices reduced by 1. So I have a 4th grader who currently has one option who has it reduced by 1. I also think my 10th grader needs their questions reduced by 1 based on their accommodations. The rest of my class is fine with the number of answer choices given. Last, you have the read aloud settings available. To enable the read aloud settings, you select the class, and then you go in and you will see that you have access to turn on the read aloud features in math, reading and ELA, science, and social studies. For my 1st grader, I want to turn on all of those features. For my 4th grader, I'm going to turn it on only in reading and ELA, And for my 7th grader, I'm only going to turn it on in math. And I'm going to leave the rest off. My 10th grader is going to have all of them off based on their needs. Now, those students now have access to have content read aloud to them. I can click back to the teacher page, and I can revisit the student settings at any time and adjust them as needed by going to the teacher page, visiting class links, and then clicking on student settings.